What's going on, y'all? We back at it again with another edition of the Cozy Rant series. You feel me? It's Friday. Hope y'all had a great week. Hope you had some unexpected and expecting blessings come your way. I sure did. You feel me? But we gonna get straight into it. We not gonna waste no time, really. We already know what we here for, why we here. First off, giving thanks to God. Because without him, it ain't no us. It ain't no this. You know what I mean? So we give thanks to the Most High. But let's get straight into it. We got some things to talk about, man. Recently, I watched this podcast with Cam Newton and Nori Muhammad. I hope I'm saying his name right. Nori Muhammad. But they had a great conversation on his podcast, on Cam Newton's podcast. Just to give y'all a little taste of, the title, You Gotta Eat to Live and You Serve to Lead. Powerful conversation on the downfalls, unity, spiritual healing. They took a deep dive, man. I ain't gonna lie. This episode was about 3 hours. So 3 hours is just straight, just straight talking on, just straight, unpacked in so many things, and I'm gonna talk about some of the things that kind of sat with me for real. One of the things that kind of sat with me was, like, as people, we have to start to understand the context and principles rather than the situation at hand. You know what I'm saying? So, like, say I leave dishes in the sink, right? And I'm just like, well, they just the dishes in the sink. Like, what are we getting upset for? It's just the dishes in the sink. But what I gotta understand the context of what that means for real. Like, I can't just leave the dishes in the sink because that's just leaving dirty dishes in the sink is just not acceptable. And if somebody is getting mad or gets upset that you leaving it, don't think that you leaving the dishes in the sink is the reason why. Because it's at the end of the day, that's minuscule. That's just the dishes in the sink for real. The reason that they upset is because they hold a standard in the household of keeping stuff clean and area clean. That's the reason. That's the reason. That's the principle. You feel what I'm saying? So we gotta understand that people don't get mad at the situation at hand, but at the principles that aren't being followed. And we all come at fault at some point in time in our lives where we're just not understanding or we're not seeing from the point of view of why the person is mad because of the principle and not because of what's actually going on for real. So, like, as people, we just got to start to understand that, understand context and understand principles of situations, because it's always going to be way deeper than just, what it is for real. Like, I say, a thing with me is, sometimes I may do things because I may only do something because somebody told me to do it rather than me just doing it. And then the person may get upset or mad because I'm just doing it because they said it, not because, I needed to do it, or not. I'm not doing it because I should have just did it for real. Like, it should have just been done instead of me doing it because somebody initiated the action when I should have initiated the action myself without them even saying something for real. So you just gotta understand, you gotta read the room, understand the situation for real, and, like, understand that people don't just get mad for no reason. It's always a cause and effect for real. It's always a cause and effect. Make sure y'all following principles rather than just thinking that it's the surface situation for real. You know what I mean? So that's what we gotta understand for real. Another thing that he said that kind of sat with me, and it kind of goes into the book that I've been reading. Clean and Lean. It's about eating, fasting, and stuff like that. Um, so I've been reading that, but he was like basically explaining that we gotta eat to live. You know what I'm saying? So, what's up, man? Guys, I got a little guest for y'all. You wanna say something? You got something to say? Okay. You heard him. You heard what he said? Tell him again. Exactly. All right. My little soldier, guys. Chauncey. Mr. Chauncey Lane, to be exact. You know, shout out to him. We was talking just how long people was living in the Bible. Like, they was living to live on for like 300, 400 years, and now a human life expectancy is like 70s, 80s, not even that high. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of crazy, but he's basically talking about the things that we putting in our body is what's causing us to deteriorate. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm on this journey, you know. If you guys don't know, I'm pretty sure y'all don't know, and this is the first time that I think that I'm ever disclosing this, but I'm a type 1 diabetic. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna lie. It's tough. It's tough being a type 1 diabetic sometimes, you know. Like mentally, physically, you know, it just gets tough having to, you know, do all the things, you know, do your research if you don't know what a type 1 diabetic is. I'm about to start doing some fitness content specifically catered to type 1 diabetics, you know, and give y'all a little taste of like the things that I eat on a daily that I'm trying to implement as well. But he just was saying, you know, we got to eat to live. Like, we got to be putting the nutrients that we need in our body, the proper nutrients. We can't just be eating a whole bunch of bull. Now, granted, right? Sometimes you gotta go eat that McDonald's because, you know what I'm saying, money could be low. You gotta do that sometimes. Like, sometimes you just can't eat, you know, the gourmet meal. Sometimes you gotta thug it out. But for the most part, start cooking your meals at home. Like, me and my girl made Chipotle bowls the other day. Fire. Better, almost better than Chipotle. We may gotta cut a deal or something. You feel me? But just start cooking your meals on your own, cause like a lot of these places be using different things that we don't even know. Like, it's just crazy how the food industry is, like, how it is for real. You know, stay away from, you know, the fast food. I used to think that I could just burn the stuff off. You know what I mean? Making an appearance again. He just gonna do what he do. 80% of what you eating is gonna determine whether your body gonna be right or not. The gym and all that, working out, is just to tone it up. You feel me? So it's all about what you eat. So this is what reading. It's a 30 days, 30 foods, a new you. It's about fasting and everything like that. That's what I'm reading right now. So it got the different chapters is just like different types of meals that you can eat throughout the day, how long you can fast. You know what I mean? So this is for 30 days. So we just started the new month, as y'all know, June. So that's what I'm getting into for real. So that's another thing that I just been, you know, tapping into for real. Like, I'm just trying to live a more healthy life, better eating habits. And, you know, the time that I've been doing I've been feeling good for real. Like, I don't really do nothing crazy. I don't really drink a lot like that, like I used to when I was in college and, you know, early 20s. I really don't do that. I'm about to be 24 this year, guys. That's really crazy to say. I'm about to be 24. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we gotta eat to live, and we gotta eat to live. You can't live to eat. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be, oh my God, I just can't wait to eat. Like, think about what you really putting into your body for real. Like that's really the key. That's really the key to success for real. Like good eating habits. And, sometimes we may fall. Sometimes you know what I'm saying. But hey, everybody has their time. You feel me? Everybody has their time. And what he was saying was we gotta use sports more for life lessons rather than trying to be the best at it. Now, hear me out. You always want to be the best at what you do in anything that you do, whether it's sports, whether it's cooking, whether it's cleaning, whether it's reading, writing, whatever the case may be. You want to do it at your very best. But what he said was, and I want to get it correct because what he was saying, it really was, I ain't gonna lie. And I still, mind you, I've only watched an hour and 22 minutes of this episode. So I still got 2 more hours to watch, which I'm gonna watch tomorrow. I'm gonna watch it in the morning. But basically what he was saying was the demographic of white kids and black kids, and talking about how the mindsets are different, really. So it's why sports dreams are failing black boys. I'm gonna turn it up so y'all can probably hear it.
But he studied 500 people for 20 some years under Andrew Carnegie's funding and backing. And what he was doing, he was trying to study the habits of the leaders of all the different industries around the world. And when he studied these 500 most successful people in all fields of human endeavor, he found 16 things that were common among all of them. One of those things was what he called transmutation. That is the transfer of power from one area in life to another area in life. So when your brother says what he says, and we know from the outside looking in that
I don't think it's me.
I want to teach you brothers how to take the brain you built in basketball.
All right, here you go.
Or second year, I can't remember how long ago. Remember the D League? They call it the G League now. For NBA first started, that's developmental league. They was bringing the young soldiers through to get them prepared for the NBA. The first year or second year, Magic Johnson was their speaker. Listen to what he said. He said, "I want to teach you brothers how to take the brain you built in basketball and use it for business." I don't think he's been invited back, but he should be there every time. Because all that is transmutation, is changing discipline. One of our impediments as a people is, number one, we celebrate athletics more than we do academics for our children. That's bad math.
That's bad math. I ain't gonna lie. That's true. We do celebrate athletics more. Like, niggas gotta understand, student athlete, not athlete student. You feel me? Like, what do we?
The other thing is, we put our children in sports, and so do white people. But white people put their children in sports to extract the principles from it, and we put our children in sports.
I just talked about principles.
And whenever
he said black people put their kids in sports to be a professional at it, and white people put their kids in sports to grab the principles of the sport. Now, I don't know if that's, if we can do the statistics, if that's true, but do a little poll, whatever the case may be, but it makes sense, though.
they go in and we go in, they too are in the little league. They too are in Pop Warner. They there. But because they're going in there to extract principles from it, if they don't make it to the NBA or the NFL, they take the sacrifice they learned, the discipline, the hard work, the working through fatigue, the teamwork, the categorization of personal life problems and still being able to perform a task, and they take that to their law firm or their insurance agency or their dental office, and they just take discipline over there with them and become great in that. But we got our mind wrapped up 100%. If I'm going to the league, I'm going to the league, I'm going to the league, I'm going to be in the NFL, and if it don't happen, now you got a brother with a broken spirit. Right now, Brother Cam,
he spoke truth to that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of black boys out here. It's a lot. I wouldn't even say it as, I wouldn't even try to put it a race on this topic really, because all boys, all girls have dreams to make it professionally in any endeavor that they want to make it in. But I do agree that we put more emphasis on being a professional rather grasping all the things that we use that are used for sports for life. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, my coach in high school, shout out to D Hop, man. All my coaches for real. Coach Vaughn, you know what I'm saying? Coach Josh, D Hop. All my coaches, man. Coach Bird, all my coaches that I had growing up, taught me something that I can use in life today. And I don't even hoop like that no more. So, but like he said, like the sacrifice, the discipline, you know, the community, the camaraderie that I can that's helped me along the way with, going to school, different jobs that I've had, techniques that I had to learn, just going through life as for me as a black man in America. Like, these are lessons and, things that I had that I can carry until, I'm put in the dirt, you know what I'm saying? Or spread across the world, in the ocean, whatever. Like, these are things that I can carry out even into my personal business endeavors and how I want to structure my company and how I want to structure Cozy the brand and, different other avenues that I want to get into. Like, I learned all those things through sports. And that's why it goes back to my point that we got to use sports more so for the lessons that we learn that we get from them rather than the sport itself and trying to be a professional. Like, yeah, I had dreams of, going to the league and going to the NBA. Like, what kid don't want to go to the NBA? What kid don't want to go to the NFL? Like, what kid don't want to go to the MLB, soccer, FIFA, whatever the case may be? What kid don't want that? You know what I'm saying? But, reality gonna hit you in the face. And sometimes it's going to hit you hard. It's going to get political. And, you know what I'm saying, to all my youngins out there, all my young men, because we don't got YNs over here. We don't got YNs. We got young men, the YMs. You know what I'm saying, the young men. So, reality going to hit you. So, you got to understand and be conscious and be understanding and live with the reality that I may not go to the league, but I can use what I've been learning throughout this whole time to push myself forward, to catapult myself into my future and what I'm really supposed to be doing out here. So use the sports for the deeper, like I said, it goes back to the principles and the context. It's deeper than just basketball. It's deeper than just football. It's deeper than just soccer, baseball, whatever the case may be. It's deeper than that. So definitely use those things to your advantage for sure. I think the last thing that I want to talk about that I got from this interview. Yeah, that'll be the last thing. This will be the last thing that I talk about for this, for real. And it's I'm looking at my notes. My notes right here. I always write what I'm going to talk about down. This don't be no free for all. This last point is something that that I've been sitting with for a little bit, for like over a month now. And it's great to set high expectations, but also set small goals in between those high expectations that are reachable. Because if you steady, I'm not saying that, it's wrong to set high expectations and set high goals for yourself. Definitely do that for sure. Definitely do that. But what I'm saying is, if you don't reach those goals at a certain amount of time, you don't want to, quote unquote, disappoint yourself or be like, damn, I haven't done this yet. Why haven't I done it? You don't want to have that. So if you set small goals leading up to those bigger goals, it's going to be like, you're going to feel way, way better. Like, let's say your goal is to, your goal is to lose weight or your goal is to gain weight or whatever. or you want to hit a certain target. Like let's say you weigh like 130, 135. You try to make it a 160, right? You're gonna be disappointed if you checking that scale every week and you not at the weight that you want to be at. Bro, it takes time. You can't rush. And that's the problem with our generation right now. Like, we want instant gratification, and life just don't work like that. In some instances, some cases, it may, but in most cases, it don't. And you have to understand that everything is a process, and you gotta trust it. You gotta trust the process. So, like, if your goal is 160 and you at 130, 135 right now, think about this. Think about the small goals. All right, if I want to get to 160, then I need to be eating these little. I'm gonna eat these little meals. I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna get on this certain diet, and I'm gonna start work. And I'm gonna go to the gym after I eat these certain meals and things like that. And I'm gonna start seeing progress. And once you start seeing progress and you start stepping on that scale, when you're doing all those things, like, okay, I want to be 160. What I gotta do to get to 160? Oh, I gotta eat more protein. I gotta eat more carbohydrates. I gotta eat fruit. I gotta get the correct amount of sleep. I gotta work out. I gotta really push myself when I'm working out too. I can't be going there bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about the small, little goals, that you have. Like, even now, for me, my goal and my dream is to work for a sports organization, sports team. You know what I'm saying? That's my ultimate goal. But what are the small goals I want to do? Be videographer for a high school. I've done that. I want to do, videography for NBA guys and, different D1 athletes and stuff. I'm doing that now. You know what I'm saying? I want to create my own platform where I can just drop videos for myself. I'm doing that. I'm just creating little different goals to set up for my big goals. It's like when you're playing volleyball and the setter, you setting up the shot. Boom, boom, till they spike it down. You know what I'm saying? I'm setting up the goal so I can spike it down. So if whoever comes across this video and y'all watching this and y'all have those big goals, set little monumental goals. And shout out to my brother Alex, man, because he said the same thing to me, and that's why I'm saying it to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gatekeeping. Set small goals and achieve those first, because once you start achieving all those little small goals, before you know it, you're going to be knocking at the door, and it's the goal that you set from the first time this is what I want to do. You feel me? So that's all. That's really all I got for you guys, man, today. You know what I'm saying? As we move into the weekend, make sure y'all stay safe. Make sure, don't do nothing I wouldn't do. You feel me? We gonna be dropping another, I'm gonna try to be dropping these videos, like I said, like 2 days a week. You know what I'm saying? It's a one-man band over here, so I'll be editing by myself. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. Merch is on the way. I'm doing a pre-sale right now for the Cozy Tees. Shout out to my guys that's been, helping with the designs and the marketing and stuff for that. Shout out to my Cozy ambassadors too, man. Really love y'all and appreciate you guys. If you're trying to cop a pre-sale shirt so that once the official drop happens, you don't even gotta worry about buying one. It's just going to ship straight to you when they come. They coming soon. I ain't gonna drop the date yet. But they coming for real. So, with that being said, stay true, stay you, be cozy. And it's just like that. You dig?